Let's get one thing straight from the start. Kindness alone won't keep you alive in this game. If you think being a good person is enough to win, you're dreaming, and deep down, you know it. You're just scared to face it. How many times have you felt like people walk all over you? How often have you done the right thing, only to be sidelined or used? You've been fed the lie that goodness is enough, that honesty and virtue always pay off. But the world doesn't work like that. It doesn't reward purity. It rewards those who master the game. This is where Machiavelli steps in. He saw what most ignore. Human nature can be selfish, unpredictable, even ruthless when it needs to be. In The Prince, he laid it bare. Virtue without cunning is fragility. Kindness without strategy is a setup for failure. So ask yourself, how many times have you fallen into that trap? Look at the people you admire, the ones who've climbed to the top. Do you really think they got there on good intentions alone? They got there because they knew when to move in the dark. They saw morality not as a chain, but as a weapon. The difference between a king and a pawn is knowing when to wield it and when to conceal it. The problem isn't that you're good. It's that you don't know how to shield that goodness. You think everyone's playing fair, but they're not. The world is crawling with wolves posing as friends, opportunists who can sniff out naivety from a mile away, and without realizing it, you've made yourself an easy mark. Machiavelli offers a different path, intelligent kindness. It's not about turning evil or abandoning your values. It's about pairing your heart with a sharp mind. It's learning to read people, to spot their motives before they reveal them, to know when to open up and when to lock down. Machiavelli said, "It's better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But you've chosen love, acceptance, safety. And what's it gotten you? Not respect, not influence. What you've learned, often too late, is that people will use you without a second thought, because kindness without backbone doesn't command awe, it invites pity. Don't misunderstand, this isn't about ditching your principles, it's about waking up, about realizing the world doesn't crown the righteous, it crowns the clever. True virtue isn't about surrender, it's about balancing ideals with reality. Machiavelli taught that image is everything. It's not just who you are, it's how others see you. If you look weak, you'll be treated like prey. But if you project strength, you'll earn respect. So how many times have you stayed silent just to avoid conflict? How often have you swallowed disrespect to keep the peace? And what did that get you? This isn't about being cruel, it's about being calculated. It's knowing when to speak, when to wait, when to push, and when to walk away. Kindness, when wielded with precision, is power. But left unguarded, it's your Achilles heel. Good people believe the world cherishes a pure heart. It doesn't. The world values power, stability, and the guts to make tough calls. Kindness only shines when it's backed by authority. Without strength, your goodness is invisible. Machiavelli wouldn't tell you to be a lamb among wolves. He'd tell you not to let your morals chain you. True virtue is intelligence, not blind obedience. It's not about bending to the world's rules, but bending the world to fit yours. So how much longer will you let people step on you? How much longer will you be a casualty of your own idealism? This isn't about changing who you are. It's about protecting who you are in a way that serves you. Learn to move wisely. Know when to smile and when to show your edge. The world isn't fair, but you can master its rules while staying true to yourself. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to make you a villain. He wrote it to teach you how to survive. Now, let's talk about something most miss: the perception of power. It's not enough to be strong, you have to look strong. It's not enough to be smart, you have to project it. Because in this world, perception trumps truth. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone less skilled outshine the talented? How often have you watched a manipulator soar while the honest grind away in the shadows? It's not random. People don't follow the best, they follow the one who seems in control, who crafts their image, who radiates authority, even if they're bluffing. Machiavelli got this. It's not just what you are, but what people believe you are. Perception is your currency. An insecure leader, no matter how skilled, breeds doubt. A worker who doesn't stand out, no matter how good, stays stuck. A person who doesn't project value, no matter how much they offer, gets overlooked. The key isn't just being great, it's controlling the story others tell about you. It's shaping how you're seen, directing attention to what you want noticed. This isn't deception, it's strategy. In every interaction, people filter reality through biases, assumptions, and emotions. Are you letting those filters work against you, or are you steering them in your favor? If you're kind but seem fragile, you'll be treated as such. If you're fair but seem soft, you'll be trampled. If you're gifted but seem unsure, you'll be ignored. The art of perception separates those who shape their fate from those shaped by others. And this leads to a tougher truth: controlling information. Ever wonder why the powerful always seem to know something you don't? Why the top players always have the edge? Because they master what to share and what to hold back. Naive people think total honesty is noble, that spilling everything is righteous. But information is power, and giving it away carelessly makes you vulnerable. Machiavelli said, a prince must mask their true intentions, not to lie, but because in a world where everyone's hunting for an edge, the one who reveals too much becomes prey. Learn to say only what's needed, to keep some mystery, to make others guess your next move. The moment you're fully predictable, you're powerless. The greatest players, whether in politics, business, or life, know this. Strategic silence is as potent as words. Think of someone you respect, someone with real influence. Do they overshare, bear it all? Or do they keep a card hidden, leaving you curious? The problem is many confuse transparency with weakness. They think holding back is dishonest. But it's not about lying, it's about guarding your leverage. How many times have you said too much and regretted it? Trusted the wrong person and paid the price? Given explanations no one asked for, just to prove yourself to people who didn't care? Power isn't in talking more, it's in knowing when to talk and when to shut up. The one who speaks least, who explains least, commands the most respect. Why? Because silence breeds uncertainty. Uncertainty sparks curiosity, and curiosity hands you power. If you're always an open book, people lose interest. If you over-explain, they think you're desperate for approval. But when you speak only when it counts, when you choose words with care, when you leave room for mystery, people lean in. And here's another gem: unpredictability. Predictable people are easy to control. If your reactions, emotions, and choices are a script others can read, they'll play you like a fiddle. But when you're unpredictable, when no one can pin down your next move, you become a force. Machiavelli knew this. A leader who's easy to read is a weak leader, but one who keeps a layer of mystery, who adapts, who refuses to be caged, that's who holds the reins. So what's it gonna be? Keep being predictable, easy to manipulate, or become a strategist, someone who controls their image, their words, their unpredictability. Because kindness without cunning is an invitation to be eaten alive. The world won't rewrite its rules for you, so stop playing by a fantasy rulebook. Learn the real game, and you'll stop being a victim and start shaping the board. Now, let's hit another misunderstood truth: strategic distance. Most think power comes from always being around, always visible, always available. Wrong. The more accessible you are, the less you're valued. Scarcity creates desire. Absence creates weight. Why do some people command attention just by stepping into a room, while others fade no matter how hard they try? It's perception, how rare their presence feels. Machiavelli warned against being too open, not to act superior, but because familiarity kills respect. When you're always there, always giving, people stop valuing you. Your time, your effort, it becomes expected, not earned. This isn't just about leadership, it's life. In relationships, work, everywhere. Give too much and you're replaceable. Be too available and you're just a tool. How many times have you gone all out for someone only to be ghosted when you needed them? How often have you shown up only to be taken for granted? It's not chance, it's human nature. What's plentiful is ignored. What's rare is treasured. So start controlling your presence. Don't always be the first to text back. Don't always be reachable. Let people feel your absence. Let your presence hit harder. Most are scared to step back, afraid they'll be forgotten. But here's the truth. If you're only remembered because you're always around, you were never that valuable. The ones who leave a mark aren't the loudest. They're the ones who master silence, who know when to show up and when to vanish. Look at history's heavyweights. They didn't fight every battle. They saved their energy, picked their moments, and when they moved, the world felt it. This brings us to a game changer. Emotional control. Most lose the game here. People think power is aggression, yelling, throwing weight around. But real power is staying calm in chaos. Machiavelli knew this. The one who can't control their emotions can't control the outcome. Snap in anger, react in fear, show insecurity, and you're an open book, easy to read, easy to break. Think back to the last time you lost it. Who had the power? Not you. It was the one who got under your skin, who threw you off balance. Because the one who controls your emotions controls you. The person who can't be provoked, who stays steady no matter what's thrown at them, that's the one with real power. In a debate, a deal, an argument, the one who keeps their cool wins. Why? Because they control how they're seen. Machiavelli said a wise leader acts with calculation, not emotion. It's not about being cold, it's about not being a slave to your feelings. Master this and you're untouchable. Others will try to rattle you, push your buttons, test your limits. But if they can't shake you, if they can't predict you, they've got nothing on you. The real players aren't the loudest or the toughest. They're the ones who stay calm while everyone else spirals. And that leads to the final piece, strategic patience. Most want it all now. Success, respect, power. But Machiavelli and every great mind in history knew. Real power comes from waiting for the right moment. The world is full of people acting on impulse, chasing quick wins. But the ones who run the show, they watch, they plan, they strike with precision. Think of a hunter. They don't shoot at every rustle. They study, they wait, they move when the target's in their sights. That's power, not being the first to act, but acting at the perfect time. Machiavelli said, "Fortune favors those who adapt." It's not about constant motion. It's about knowing when to surge and when to pause. The average person reacts. The strategist waits. So, are you rushing in blind, or are you watching, calculating, moving with intent? Because power doesn't go to the fastest. It goes to the sharpest. Master perception, control information, use distance, own your emotions, and practice patience. Do that and you won't just survive, you will dominate. But there's one more step, the one that separates those who scrape by from those who rewrite history. Become an anomaly. You know the truth now. Kindness alone won't cut it. Perception is power, silence is a blade. Scarcity builds value, patience outsmarts haste. But none of that matters if you keep acting like everyone else. The system is built to chew up those who follow the script. Do what everyone does and you'll get what everyone gets. Mediocrity. To win, you have to be the outlier, the one who moves differently, thinks differently, refuses to be boxed in. Be the one whose presence shifts the room, whose words hit like bullets, whose actions no one sees coming. Once you get this, everything changes. You weren't weak. You were just playing the wrong game. You weren't invisible. You just didn't know how to shine. But now you do, and that's dangerous. The moment you start shaping your image, guarding your presence, holding your reactions, and speaking with purpose. The world shifts. People who ignored you start noticing. Those who underestimated you start second-guessing. Those who tried to play you, they hesitate. You're no longer predictable. You're no longer powerless. You're someone who knows the board and moves like they own it. Now, the real question: will you act on this or let it sit as just another thought? The difference between those who rise and those who stall isn't what they know. It's what they do. The choice is yours. Others will try to shake you, provoke you, but if they can't break your calm, they've got no leverage. The ones who run the game aren't the loudest. They're the ones who stay steady while the world loses its head. And here's the final principle: strategic patience. Most crave instant results. Success now, respect now, power now. But Machiavelli and every master strategist knew, real power belongs to those who wait. The world is full of impulsive chasers reacting without thinking, but the ones who hold the reins, they observe, they calculate, they move when the moment's ripe. A hunter doesn't fire at every sound. They watch, they measure, they strike when the prey's in position. That's influence, not the first move, but the right move. Machiavelli said, "Fortune favors those who know how to adapt." It's not about endless hustle, it's about timing. The average person reacts, the strategist waits. So, are you acting on impulse or with purpose? Because power doesn't belong to the fastest, it belongs to the smartest. Master perception, information, distance, emotional control, and timing, and you won't just play the game, you'll own it. But even that's not the end. What separates those who survive from those who shape their legacy is the courage to be an anomaly. You know the stakes. Kindness isn't enough. Perception is power. Silence is a weapon. Scarcity builds worth. Patience trumps haste. But if you keep following the crowd, none of it matters. The system devours conformity. Act like everyone else and you'll fade like everyone else. To win, be the exception. The one who breaks the mold, who's unpredictable, who shows up sharp and impossible to ignore. When you move like that, the game changes. You weren't weak. You just didn't have the playbook. You weren't invisible. You just hadn't learned to project your value. But now, you know. And once you apply it, there's no going back. People will treat you differently, speak to you differently, think twice before crossing you. You're not just in the game, you're rewriting it. Final step, drop a comment below. Tell me how this hit you, what you're applying first. I'm reading every single one and replying to all. This isn't a lecture, it's a conversation. Let's get it started.